Right. Discovery has reversed its decision to bury Coyote versus Acme. The studio will now allow director Dave Green to shop his action animated hybrid movie to other potential buyers instead of shelving the project for a tax write off. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed Amazon is said to be a contender in the mix, with screenings for potential buyers taking place this month. Puck was the first to report the news on the reversal. The movie comes days after the reporter broke the news that Coyote versus Acme would become Warner's third already shot film to get shelved after previously nixing nearly completed Batgirl and Scooby Holiday Hunt. After Batgirl and
Wow.
Scooby were dumped, a group of filmmakers with business at the studio started a text change. Oh boy,
Wow.
I would love to see them text. A support group of sorts to share their hopes and their anxieties, as well as encouragement and tips for navigating the studio. That's great, dude. I actually like that. See, that is very healthy, guys. For when you think you're like this creator doing it alone, and you're dealing with a corporation as massive as Warner Brothers, they can't stop you from connecting with other directors. Ooh, I like that. One of the questions they all had: what's going on with their movies? The Coyote cancellation roiled the creative communities perhaps even harder than Batgirl and Scoob, because those had been positioned as a one-off change in strategy, never to happen again. That's right. That's what Zaslav said. According to the sources, after the Coyote versus Acme news broke last week, several filmmakers instructed reps to cancel meetings they had on the books with Warners. But now that Coyote may ultimately find a new home, these filmmakers are taking a wait-and-see approach. Unlike the other Warner films canceled, Acme and Coyote versus Acme was fully completed and had tested multiple times in the 90s percentiles. Best Picture winner Argo, both Deadpool movies, and the first Conjuring among features likewise tested in the 90s. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I know that the Batgirl did not test well, but neither did Shazam. According to sources who have seen the film, which stars Will Forte, John Cena, and Lana Condor, Coyote versus Acme is a popcorn-style crowd pleaser. It's a great movie, tweeted writer-director Ben David Grabensky, who worked with Green on Happily, the best kind of it since Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I thought of that as soon as they said that. The leads are super likable. It's beautifully shot. The animation is great. The ending makes everyone effing cry. I thought the goal of this business was to make hit movies.
You would think.
After Batgirl was shelved, a narrative emerged that the film was axed because it wasn't very good. Our job is to protect the DC brand, and that's what we're going to do, said Zaslav in 2022's investors call after the cancellation. Peter Safran, who became head of DC Studios after Batgirl was shelved, said the team behind the film was talented, but that Batgirl was not releasable. Remarks to press in January. Wow. You want to take over and read some of this?
Yeah. Let's see where you're at.
Right here.
All right. Green's industry friends mobilized to prevent that kind of messaging from tainting the reputation of Coyote versus Acme. There is still a planned funeral screening this week on the Western lot. According to sources, though, funeral is no longer an apt term for the project that may be very well find a new life. I don't know how you see the movie and then go, that couldn't happen to me, says Brian Dunfield, the filmmaker behind the sleeper hit, Hulu hit, No One Will Save You. Dunfield was not involved in Coyote versus Acme, but his friends with Green and gave notes on the film. Part of Dunfield's frustration, he says, is that Green did everything that was asked of him. He delivered the film, which sources say cost $72 million on budget, and he hit the right test scores. He even moved away for his friends and family in London for 18 months to save the studio money on post-production costs. That's crazy.
Yep.
All this only to see his film get run off a cliff. Let's see what they did there. That's a pun there, huh? Dunford
Mhm.
believes the Coyote can make money, certainly more than the tax write off. I think Coyote is similar to Barbie in a lot of ways, since Dunfield. They're playing on iconography in a really fun, popcorny kind of way. Man, so basically, you're saying that Sasloff is thinking that he can get more money from the tax write off than actually putting the film out, basically, right?
I mean, yeah, I'm so happy this is happening because this was a huge misstep. And then reading all this, let me continue. Veteran film executives acknowledge that shelving a film for a tax write-off and avoid distribution and marketing costs can make an earnings quarter look better, but it can be short-sighted for a studio in the business of building franchises and a slate. The
Mm.
decision followed the industry taking a hard turn from a streaming boom golden age that saw studios shelling out unprecedented billions on content, particularly titles related to a familiar IP like Coyote versus Acme. Some saw Warner's bottom line ruthlessness as less of a new way of mistreating talent than a return to how Hollywood used to be. The idea that there was a little window there where a lot of people got to try a lot of stuff they wouldn't have gotten to try in normal circumstances, that's the anomaly. One top writer producer said. The kind of red tooth and claw versions of conducting business and nastiness, I think that's the norm. Still, it's easy to imagine that if an in-demand creative has an all in things being equal choice of with Warner Brothers or another studio in the future, that Zaslav's aggressive tax strategies could give real pause, even with the reversal. Zaslav previously reversed an unpopular decision, the gutting of TCM, after an outcry from creatives such as Spielberg, Scorsese, and Anderson. Interesting, the plot of
Wow.
Coyote versus Acme follows a speechless, ever determined Wile E. Coyote as he teams up with a lawyer, Forte, to fight the big Acme corporation. Just like in the cartoons, Coyote buys Acme devices to try and kill Roadrunner, but they never work properly and often abruptly explode. That's hilarious. The third shelved Warner's movie, in other words, is a story of an underdog taking on a heartless company whose executives don't realize that there can be real consequences of making their products blow up in your face.
So they don't
Wow.
want it out because it hits too close to home.
Listen, there you guys have it right now. Breaking news. You ready? We read it here for you guys. And let me tell you guys something. In a heartbeat, I would give this movie my money. In a heartbeat. I grew up watching these cartoons. Are you kidding me? Wow. Y'all must have been hard up to make that ledger book look real good in front of your investors, but y'all forgot you're in the movie making business. Hooray for Hollywood. Ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da, Hollywood.